Cruise. Tom Maverick Cruise. Audience during the Oscar Nominees Luncheon in Cruise Control. The path to a nomination for the select few starting an Oscar campaign requires you to mingle with so many of the same people that, over the course of several months, your rivals may start to seem like classmates. However, a new student's entrance on Monday afternoon at a luncheon organized in Beverly Hills for this year's Oscar candidates created quite a commotion. That would be Tom Cruise, who was recognized this year as a producer of the blockbuster film Top Gun. Maverick, a contender for Best Picture, he was one of the first well-known people to enter the Beverly Hilton's ballroom. Many of his fellow candidates were seeing the 60-year-old star for the first time because he skipped both the Critics' Choice Awards and the Golden Globes this season. The ballroom quickly transformed into a sizable meet and greet area. Ke Huy Quan, the star of Everything Everywhere All at Once, hopped into position and exclaimed, "I want a picture with this man," before taking a selfie with Cruise. I love you, oh my god," she exclaimed. Brendan Fraser, Angela Bassett, and Michelle Williams, who were nominated for awards, as well as director Guillermo del Toro, embraced each other. Even Steven Spielberg, with whom Cruise had previously collaborated frequently, but had not been publicly pictured for more than 10 years, appeared for photos. There was no denying that Cruise was the top dog in the ballroom. He had the gravitational force of the sun and its burnt orange complexion, too. The nominees' luncheon is meant to be an egalitarian event where huge stars and behind-the-scenes crew members are on equal footing. The following nominees had opted out of the event, who might have distracted attention from Cruise: Lady Gaga and Rihanna, who were up for Best Original Song awards, were preoccupied with other commitments, including, for the latter, a recent Super Bowl performance, and even unexpected Best Actress nominee Andrea Riseborough was absent. Even still, getting to Cruise took some time because he was surrounded by his fellow nominees and could not move more than a few feet during the schmooze-filled hour before lunch was served. Austin Butler, who played Elvis in the movie, drew slowly and inexorably toward Cruise. Cruise eventually drew Butler closer him by stapling a hand to Butler's shoulder. They were so tightly embraced for several minutes that it was difficult to tell what they were discussing or, more importantly, whether Butler was still speaking with his Elvis drawl. Instead, I moved toward Top Gun Maverick producer Jerry Bruckheimer, who stood nearby and calmly watched the action. The newly nominated producer, who is better known for producing spectacular action pictures than Oscar material, stated, "It's my first time at the luncheon. I finally got here after 50 years in the business." The song "Applause" from the movie Tell It Like a Woman has been nominated for an Oscar 13 times. Therefore, this was not the songwriter Diane Warren's first time attending the luncheon. "That day is my favorite," Warren declared. "Everyone is a winner right now. Nobody lost." I brought up Warren's honorary Oscar win from November and questioned whether it had diminished her drive to take home a competitive statuette. She smiled and replied, "No, I still want to win." He desires a companion. The Academy President, Janet Yang, ascended the stage as the candidates and their guests settled in to eat mushroom risotto and addressed the controversy surrounding the organization's handling of the Will Smith slap at the last ceremony. "It was insufficient," Yang remarked. "We took away from this that the Academy must behave with complete transparency and accountability, especially during times of crisis." The statement reads, "There has already been one unrelated adjustment." Yang pledged that each category would be broadcast live during the March 12th telecast, in contrast to last year, when 8 below-the-line Oscars were presented right before the telecast started. Yang appealed with the nominees to keep their speeches brief. "As a result," she said, "we need to be mindful of our running time. After all, this is live television." As soon as it was resolved, the nominees were called one by one to the stage's front where they would pose for a large class photo. Jamie Lee Curtis, who received her first Oscar nod for Everything Everywhere All at Once this year, was the first name to be spoken. "Do the math, I've been acting since I was 19 years old," said Curtis. "That's a significant amount of time spent watching this photo be taken. Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, two deceased actors, were both Oscar nominees. It's incredibly powerful, she added, to be connected through this legacy of their work and my work and now to be included here. Devin Franklin, a producer and an Academy governor, eventually counted down to a flashbulb going off with all the candidates present, and then began counting down once again as the Academy photographer snapped another shot. Franklin said, "All right, 3 more. Best Actor nominee, Colin Farrell, The Banshees of Inisherin yelled, I've got one more expression. Warren, who was on the riser behind him, and Farrell had just finished a lively conversation. I questioned Warren what they had talked about when the photos were finished and people started to leave the ballroom. She remarked, we discussed how we both performed quite poorly in school, and now here we are, at the best graduation picture ever.